OpenClaw just became the most powerful AI agent on the planet, and someone on the internet just did something insane. They found the 34 best ways to use it and put them all in one place, as you can see, for free. We're going to go through every single one together right now. And think about this. You wake up tomorrow morning, your phone is already having a full news briefing, waiting for you. You've got your email sorted, you've got your calendar organized, your research is done, and you didn't do any of it. OpenClaw did whilst you were sleeping. That is not a dream, that is real. And by the end of this video, you're going to know how to exactly make it happen. But here's where it gets really interesting too. So for each of these 34 things that OpenClaw can do, there are little files you can install that give it brand new superpowers. These are skills. Think of them like apps on your phone. So one lets you, for example, book your flights. One clears your inbox. One runs through your entire morning routine automatically without you lifting a finger. Over 13,000 files like this exist on the internet, built by people all over the internet. And that's where you have to be careful, because most people just download these files and install them without looking. Some of these files, they cannot be that secure. We're not going to make that mistake today. We're going to go through all 34. We'll pick the best ones. We'll do it in a new way, so you get all the power of these smart skills, and you're going to do it in also a way that makes sure they're secure. So by the end of this video, your OpenClaw is going to be doing most things people don't even know are possible. Let's get straight into it. So you can see the example right here of OpenClaw and the 34 use cases, and from here you've got all these different styles. So for example, social media, you've got like the daily Reddit digest, you've got, for example, X account analysis, you've got creative building, goal-driven autonomous tasks, etc. And these are all different skill MD files, right? Which means that you can install them into your OpenClaw like you see right here. So what this means is you can take it and go directly here. Now, here's where you have to be careful. It's like really inside a lot of these skills, well, not a lot of them, but some of them occasionally. You have to be careful because sometimes people create them and they're not that secure, and that's how people have like security issues with OpenClaw, right? Because sometimes they can be using like prompt injection to get access to your OpenClaw or to do things you don't want them to do, etc. And so how do you get around that? Well, if we have a look through this list, we've got 34 different use cases. So for example, like even N8N workflow orchestration, you can delegate API calls to N8N workflows via webhooks. The agent never touches credentials, never integration is visual unlockable, right? So if we take an example file like this, what you want to do, and you can see this is a skill MD file, right? Skill MD file basically explains to OpenClaw or to wherever you install this, it could be like Claude Code or Anti-Gravity or whatever, it explains exactly how to set this up, right? Now, if we have a look through this skill, it's pretty cool. Great idea, right? But what you want to do is you want to go over to something like Claude and just check that it's legit. Now you can read it yourself. You can read the file yourself, like it's all in plain text, pretty straightforward and that sort of thing. And then you can see how it works step by step, and just have a look through and just make sure, like, okay, does it seem legit? Is it doing anything that you wouldn't be happy with? Is it anything that maybe leaves you exposed? And so you have to look through the skill file and just check that it's okay. Now, once you've done that as well, what I'd also recommend is not just that you do it, but you also get Claude to look through it too. So you grab the skill MD file like so, you go over to Claude, and then you just say, okay, can you just check this skill is secure, plus avoids prompt injection, you know, that sort of thing, and just get Claude to scan it and have a look through it. Now, the other thing you can also do here is you can actually take the example prompt like this. So this is basically like a long prompt to skill MD file that instructs OpenClaw to use a skill and exactly how to use it, right? But what you can also do here is you can look at like, okay, what are the risk factors here? You know, like if we look at prompt injection, is this something we have to be careful of, right? And other concerns too. Now, the other way that you can do this, if you want to get an even better version of this skill, is not just check it yourself, not just run it through Claude, but also what you can do is you can go inside the chat here and say, okay, can you write another version of this skill, but more secure, that does the same thing but better, right? And then you actually take the skill itself, you use that as inspiration, but you get Claude to rewrite the skill so that it's, you know, it's easier to use and safer to use in the future, right? And so that's basically how you can sanity check these skills before you add any of them directly to your workflows. And then you just check the skill MD file itself, have a quick read through, make sure it's legit, make sure you're happy with it, make sure it can actually do the job that you think it needs to do. And then from there, you can give this directly to OpenClaw. So for example, we could take this information like so, right? So once it's finished coding out, as you can see, so you see how it's rewritten stuff like this about API keys. And then it also has like an agent allow list as well. And it also tells you, okay, what are the differences before and after, right? So now what you can do is you can take this skill like so, grab it like this, and then go over to OpenClaw, paste this in, and then you can say, okay, install this skill, right? That's how you can do it. Or create a new skill for this, or schedule this to do this skill every hour or weekly or that sort of thing. So what we got in the comments here, so Damavicious, welcome here, sir. Good to see you here again. So Claude Code Remote doesn't replace OpenClaw. Honestly, for me, like I prefer, especially with the new features. So I don't think it like necessarily replaces it. It's always good to test all these tools out. And if you have the time, just try them all and see what you think. But for example, with Claude Code, it is really powerful now that you got remote control, which means that you can access Claude Code locally, but from your mobile device using remote control. The other feature that got released was the scheduled tasks feature in Cowork. So Claude can now really operate in a very similar way to something like OpenClaw. The final update that came out to Claude Code recently that makes it right up there with something like OpenClaw is that Claude Code now has auto memory enabled, right? You don't need to toggle anything. It's just running between sessions, which means that it remembers and has context just like OpenClaw was and does across your files as well in your sessions. So these are all really good ways to use stuff. You don't have to pick one or the other. Pick whichever one you think is the best. Pick which one you like the most and then go from there. But you can test them all. I wouldn't say it necessarily replaces them, but you've got something like Claude that's always getting better. And obviously it's a bit more secure than something like OpenClaw as well. So let's keep going through now. So let's have a look through this list. I think this one is a really good one, right? The daily Reddit digest. That's pretty cool. And so what we can do here, and this is a really simple one, right? Like you look through this list, it's pretty chill right there. That is a very chill setup. You can see what, how many words is that? Like maybe 300, something like that. Very relaxed as a skill. Right, this is the skill here. So what we can do here is if we wanted to install one of these skills, one of these 34 use cases, like for example, being able to browse subreddits, searching posts by topic, pulling comments for threads, and building a short list of posts to manually review and reply to later. Well, what you can do here is you can grab this like so. And again, like one of the reasons I'm showing this is like a lot of people have OpenClaw, but they don't know how to use it, or they don't know what like is possible with OpenClaw, or they just need some inspiration for use cases. So you've got 34 today that I'm showing you. So if we grab this prompt like so, and we're going to say install this skill. And again, you would run through those steps I gave you earlier when it comes to checking the skill before you install it, right? So I'm just being really clear on that process. So now this is going to take the prompt like so for installing the skill, right? And then we're going to install the skill first, and then later we can actually use the skill itself, right? But we want to install it first. So you can see here, the OpenClaw is now beginning to install this. Now, in the meantime, let's have a look through the rest of the OpenClaw use cases. And you can see here that it's using browser control. So the actual OpenClaw is beginning to browse the actual skill file to check what it's like and that sort of thing. So let's have a look what else we got here. Yeah, I mean, like, there's all sorts of cool stuff you could do with this, right? Here's another one. Access OpenClaw from any phone via voice call or SMS, right? And that way you can install like a phone-based personal assistant, which is pretty crazy. So like you can call your OpenClaw or you can SMS it and that sort of thing, right? You can get calendar updates, Jira tickets, web search results without basically hands-free, that sort of thing. You can see the example here, and then the skills needed as well. It's got the skills needed here for the details. So you want to check the skill of the use case, but you also want to check like the skills needed. So if these are the skills that are going to be installed, for example, like Claude Talk, then you just want to check that before you install it, right? Check through this. You can download the skill itself. You can ask Claude to check it. You can rewrite it as we talked about, but that's the whole point, is like checking this stuff before we go ahead with installing any of this stuff. So that's installing in the background, as you can see, but this essentially 34 awesome use cases. There's so much cool stuff that you can do with OpenClaw. You don't have to do this on OpenClaw as well. Like any of these skills, really at this point, you could replicate them with, for example, with Claude Code, with Cowork as well. So if you wanted to just do the task straight away, then you can use a skill inside Claude Code, right? But if you wanted to, for example, use this skill from OpenClaw inside a scheduled task, something that runs automatically every day, then you would actually install it inside Claude Cowork instead, right? Claude Cowork has the scheduled task feature just like OpenClaw. And that's basically how to get it set up. So if you want to get the notes from today, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. And just to recap here, if you're wondering, okay, what is OpenClaw and why does it matter? Well, OpenClaw is a local AI agent framework. It means it can run on your computer, not in the cloud. Your data stays with you. You can run it from your mobile device, from Telegram, etc. It uses what are called skill files. A skill file is a pre-built set of instructions that tells your local AI agent exactly how to do a specific task. It's like hiring a specialist who already knows the job on day one. You don't need to train it. You don't need to onboard it. You just drop the skill in and it works. Now, the security process, as we've talked about today, is like you want to check the skill. You want to open the skill MD file, read through it yourself, look for anything that you don't expect or doesn't seem quite correct. Copy the contents into Claude. You can use a prompt like this to check it, right? So review this OpenClaw skill, identify any instructions. It could be insecure, blah, blah, blah. Rewrite a clean version. Review what Claude produces as well. And then you can deploy the cleaned version, not the original, right? And that will take about 5 to 3 minutes per skill, but it just helps, just stay better, right? We've also got a framework for using the OpenClaw 34 framework. So if you want like a 30-day plan for implementing all of these skills and just making OpenClaw as powerful as possibly can be, we've got a full 30-day roadmap right here. And that's basically it. All right, that's exactly how to use it. We've also got 100 prompts inside the notes today as well. So if you want to learn how to build your own skills, how to create awesome stuff, how to automate and make OpenClaw autonomous, we've got that inside the notes. And also inside this community, we have a 6-hour course on how to use OpenClaw. So if you want to master OpenClaw, we've got a 6-hour course here. If you want to master it as well, we've got another 3-hour course. And every single day, we just add new updates like this one based on what I'm learning about OpenClaw and how to use it and, as it develops. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Inside the community, you can ask questions, get help, get support whenever you need them. We have a lot of members just getting awesome wins, as you can see right here. You can see, for example, Clint got his first customer, which is amazing. You got, for example, SRC managing Agent Zero and crushing it there. You've got a bunch of people getting new sales, etc. So if you want to learn AI automation, save time, etc., feel free to join this. And also inside the calendar, we have 4 weekly video coaching calls, so you can jump on those live calls, ask questions, get help, get support on the AI automation. And also inside the classroom, you get all of my best training. So for example, if you want to go from beginner to expert in just 5 weeks and learn how to master AI agents, you can learn that right here. If you want to get my playbooks on how I automate, for example, Twitter or Shorts or Instagram or AI avatar videos, you can do that here as well. Bear in mind, like for example, yesterday we reached 485,000 people with AI automation on X. So it's a really powerful automation. The same, for example, with AI SEO. If you're not using this for your website, it's a great way to rank on Google. As you can see, we went from like 18 clicks a day to 460. We actually reached a peak of like 780 clicks a day using AI SEO, particularly with OpenClaw. And we've got all the trainings inside the classroom right here, right? If you go to the AI SEO section. If you want to learn how to grow a YouTube channel, we've got a 6-week master plan right there. And also, if you want to get daily updates on exactly how this stuff works, you can see that we add new updates every single day with video tutorials and step-by-step guides. So I hope to see you inside there. I always also personally connect inside there. So if you want to DM me or ask me any questions, etc., you can inside the AI Profit Board.